Hi, this is Mr. Bledsoe, and in this video we're going to look at distances between points in the coordinate plane, and specifically we're going to look at horizontal distances and vertical distances. So let's take a look at 2 points in the coordinate plane, -4, 6, which is this point right here, and 3, 6, which is this point right here. And if I wanted to know the distance between these 2 points, I could just do what we've done before, which is I could count the number of units from one point to the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or I could add the 2 distances from each point to, in this case, the y-axis. So that would be from here, that's 4 units. And from this point here to the y-axis, that's 3 units. And either way, I'm going to get 7 units. And we've done this before when calculating distances between points on a number line. And in fact, since these 2 points have the same y-coordinate, they both have a y-coordinate of 6, we're essentially doing the same thing that we would be doing if we were asked to calculate the distance between -4 and 3 on a number line. So if this was our number line, and if -4 was right here, and 3 was right here, and 0 was right here where the y-axis is, then I can see that this distance between the 2 points is going to be 7 units. Well, let's look at another pair of points. -4, 6, which is, again, this point here, and -4, 1, which is this point here. And now, if I wanted to know the distance between these 2 points, again, I could do what we've done before, which is I could just count the number of units from one point to the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would give me 5 units. Or I could, in this case, I could subtract if I wanted to measure the distance from this point to the x-axis, which would be 6 units, and then subtract out the distance from this point to the x-axis, which is 1 unit. 6 minus 1. Again, that's going to give me 5 units. And again, we've done something similar using a number line. Since these 2 points both have the same x-coordinate, they both have an x-coordinate of -4, we're essentially doing the same thing we'd be doing if we were asked to calculate the distance between 6 and 1 on a number line. So if this was our number line, and let's say this point right here is 6, and this point right here is 1, and this point right here, where our x-axis is, that's the point 0. And again, I see the distance between the 2 points, 6 and 1, is 5 units. So in each of these 2 examples, since each pair of points has either the same first coordinate or the same second coordinate, it's not difficult to calculate the distance between the 2 points. We just treat the x-axis or the y-axis like the 0 point on a number line, and we can calculate the distance between the points by adding or subtracting, just like we've done before. And in fact, we could be a little more specific when talking about these distances by noting that this distance is a horizontal distance, and this distance is a vertical distance. Well, what if we have points that don't have the same first coordinate or second coordinate? Let's take a look at these 2 points. So this point, -4, 6, which we used before, and this point 5, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, -2. And let's call these points A and B just for convenience. This will be point A. This will be point B. Now, the direct distance between points A and B is not a horizontal or vertical distance, it's a diagonal distance. And we're going to look at how to calculate these kinds of distances a little bit later. But for now, I just want to point out that even though the points A and B don't have the same first coordinate or the same second coordinate, we can still calculate the horizontal distance between the 2 points and the vertical distance between the 2 points. And I bet you can figure out what those two distances are. So I want you to pause the video right here, find the horizontal distance between points A and B, and also the vertical distance between points A and B, and then restart the video and see if your answers match mine. So there are a few different ways to think about how to find the horizontal and vertical distances between these 2 points. And here's one way. Since I'm interested in finding a horizontal distance first, how about if I just start at one of my points, let's say point A, and I start moving closer to point B in the up or down direction until I'm directly across from point B. So moving down from point A, eventually I get to this point here, which is the point -4, -2, which is directly across from point B, which is at 5, -2. And I can calculate this horizontal distance the same way I've done before, and I can see that it's going to be 9 units. And I can do the same thing to find my vertical distance. I'll start with one of my points, let's say point A again, and I'm going to move closer, start moving closer to point B, this time in the left-right direction, until I am directly over point B, which is going to be at this point right here, which is the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is directly over point B, which is at 5, -2. And again, I can calculate this vertical distance, and I can see, I can either count or I can add my 2 distances from each point to the x-axis, and I can see that this distance is going to be 8 units. Now, just like before, notice that the 2 points here that are directly above and below each other, they always have the same x coordinate. These 2 points here have an x coordinate of -4. These 2 points here, which are directly above and below each other, have the same x coordinate, which is 5. Anytime 2 points are directly across from each other, they're going to have the same y coordinates. So I can see this point here has a y coordinate of 6, and the one directly across from it has a y coordinate of 6. Same thing with these 2 down here. This point has a y coordinate of -2. This one also has a y coordinate of -2. And you may also have noticed that the 2 new points that we drew, when we group them with our 2 original points, point A and B, they make the 4 corners of a box that has vertical and horizontal sides, which you can also use as a handy visual aid for finding horizontal and vertical distances.